He's a sovereignist. He's a person which has a great experience in business, and I convinced him to work with me.
Good evening from the nation's capital. I'm David Aiken. Thank you so much for watching. We start tonight in Battleground, Quebec, and the continuing fallout from the big announcement Sunday by Pauline Marois and the Parti Québécois. You just heard that her star candidate in Montreal riding is none other than the right-leaning former CEO of the company that owns this network, Pierre-Carl Péladeau. Our reporter Giuseppe Valiente is in Montreal, ready to fill us in on what happened yesterday, who is PKP, why should the rest of the country care? Giuseppe.
Well, the rest of the country should care because Mr. Péladeau is a really big deal in Quebec. He's very well known. He owns 28% equity in Quebecor, a multi-billion-dollar company, and 74% of the voting shares of that company. Now, Péladeau said if he's elected, he's going to put those shares in a blind trust, and the managers of all those media properties outside and inside Quebec said his entry into politics does not affect the independence of those news organizations. Now, David, aside from that, his entry into politics is a really big deal because he's running in Saint-Jérôme. That is a riding north of Montreal held by the CAQ. It was formerly held by Jacques Duchesneau, also very popular, a star candidate for the CAQ in 2012. He won by just under 900 votes, and Duchesneau resigned. So the PQ wants this seat bad, and the PQ is also looking for the CAQ held seats around the Quebec City area. Again, David, they need 9, the PQ does, for a majority. It's no surprise that Quebecor, it's no surprise to anyone that Quebecor wants an NHL hockey team, moving it to Quebec City. They own the deal to manage the NHL size arena in Quebec City that's being constructed right now. Will Quebec City area voters change their votes from CAQ to Liberals to the PQ because of Péladeau? We'll have to see about that. What we know, David, is that Pierre-Carl Péladeau said he is a sovereigntist, and if he's elected, he will actively work to have Quebec separate from Canada. I think we have a clip that discusses his plans to do just that.
Quebec have all the means to succeed. We have financial resources, we have human resources, we got natural resources. We got everything for a country, to be alive and kicking, and this is basically what is the business model of Quebec.
All right, Giuseppe, give me the reaction then to from other political leaders, from Liberal leader Philippe Couillard, from François Legault, the CAQ leader. What have they been saying about this?
Well, Philippe Couillard took the hockey angle. He said that having Pierre-Carl Péladeau run for the PQ was not a good thing for the possibility of getting the Nordiques back to Quebec City. He said the NHL Commissioner Gary Bettman, when he woke up in the morning and heard about PKP, Mr. Péladeau, he's probably not going to be happy about that. The mayor of Quebec City denied that. He said the only thing the NHL cares about are profits. And then you had François Legault, who said he's worried about Mr. Péladeau because he says that all the journalists who work for Quebecor Properties are not going to be as independent as they otherwise would have been. And finally, when it comes to the fourth party, Québec Solidaire, they really don't like Mr. Péladeau. Mr. Péladeau is widely seen as anti-union in Quebec, and the Québec Solidaire leaders said they will not have any of their MNA, should they win, sit anywhere near Péladeau in Quebec's legislature.
Giuseppe Valiente in Montreal tonight. Be back in the show a little later on for more campaign stuff. Thank you, my friend.
Thank you.